We want our equity back. I want my equity back. Share if you care.
Nigel Cecil, calling things out as you like it, especially for his fair-minded friends.
Hello, Chuckabouties, welcome. Thank you for joining me, moi, Nigel Cecil, responding as I invariably endeavour to do by presenting in these videos your comments, views, observations and questions, and in representing them, putting into the mix some of my comments as well, in the hope that we may be able to stimulate some more informed discussion about the subjects you've brought up, especially as they relate to show business matters and topics concerning equity, the trade union for professional actors, variety entertainers and other creators across the United Kingdom. We try to keep it light-hearted with a sense of fun, so it's all everyone coming together in the spirit of camaraderie. And this particular topic, Hilary has let me know, has come in from some of our younger viewers, and that's why I'm saying thank you, because you've got me wearing this t-shirt again, our design for an icon that says we're live and in person and not artificial intelligence. Why has this arisen? Because you've been in touch and said, Nigel, do you use a script? Because if you don't use a script, will you just explain what's going to be happening with election statements? Election statements? Well, it's true to say, when it comes to these videos, I don't use a script. I don't use teleprompt, autocue or anything. I just say it off the top of my head, which is why I occasionally make fluffs. Uncle Alan Freeman, Uncle Fluff. If you remember Uncle Alan, well, we make fluffs together. And of course, Uncle Alan, well, will only be known, Alan Freeman, to those of us above a certain age. And of course that's why experience coming together with youth is wonderful, because one can bounce off the other. So thank you for the question arising from our younger viewers. And they've said, Nigel, is what they say what they do? And these younger members are the ones who are also echoing the call. We want our equity back. I want my equity back. Why? Because they're getting the feeling that what is being said to them is not what others are actually doing. And when it comes to the elections later this year, everyone will get an election booklet with statements inside. So when you read the statements, which is not like moi, talking off the top of my head, it's been thought about, it's been prepared to attract your votes. So is what they say what they do? And this is based on the fact that some of you are also telling me, many times over in fact, that equity is now being driven by an ideology that is focusing on changing equity's viewpoint from resilience to resistance, being driven by almost a party political, radical, progressive socialist agenda, instead of focusing on what's seen to be important from the members upwards. And some have said, well, how has this happened? And why is it important when it comes to the election statements? Well, that's what you base your decision to vote on, isn't it? Unless you're influenced by who's proposed and seconded the members, so you don't bother reading the statements. Well, over the years, the rules of equity prior to 2017 made it absolutely clear that equity was a non-party political and non-sectarian trade union organisation. And also following that, the rules got changed. Were you aware of this? Because prior to then 2021, it became to equity independent of any political party or religious faith. That doesn't mean the same thing, does it? But now in the new rule book, all that's gone, and also the word professional has gone. And instead, in the same place, it now says to protect and further the interests of members, to protect and further the interests of members. That's all it says. A look through the rest of the rule book is all subject to interpretation, and the word, as I've said before, professional has gone. So it now is possible to put forward policies. But you would say, what's driving those policies? And indeed, years ago, if somebody was on the council and walked through the entrance to Equity, as it was then at Harley Street, or even in the early years at Guild House, it was known that you had to set aside your personal and private political beliefs and instead prioritise putting the professional interests of members first and foremost when you were taking decisions on their behalf at any equity meeting. That's gone, hasn't it? When it just says now we have to protect and further the interests of members. So when someone puts forward policies in an election statement, is that bearing in mind that they are being driven by an ideology that they haven't declared to you? And surely now, if Equity can behave in such a way, there is really an urgent need to declare in election statements what actually motivates you in standing for the Equity Council. Is it putting the professional interests of members first and foremost, or is it some ideology you've not declared? So my younger members are asking me this question, and I'm handing it over to you. Is what they say what they do? So in the spirit of camaraderie, may you let me know what you think. So until the next time, is what they say what they do. Thank you for joining moi.